The world's most powerful government is hours away from shutting itself down. And this time, the consequences go far beyond late paychecks and closed parks. This is the US shutdown standoff of 2025. It comes with a warning: permanent layoffs, political warfare, and a government that may not restart so easily.
Discussions are ongoing with both Republican and Democratic members of Capitol Hill. I don't have any meetings or any scheduling updates for you today, but what I will share is that what this White House wants and what Republicans want. We want a clean funding extension to keep the government open. That's all we're advocating for: a simple, clean budget extension, a straightforward, responsible solution to keep the government open to November 21st and allow the full year appropriations process to move forward. And I will add, this is the same budget that the Democrats approved 6 months ago, just adjusted for inflation. And unfortunately, all of a sudden now, they want to shut down the government. And if the government is shut down, it's only going to, it will be the fault of the Democrats, and it will only hurt the most vulnerable in our country, our seniors, our veterans, our military families, and increasing security for members of Congress, which is something this White House and the administration supports.
The fiscal year in America starts on the 1st of October. To keep the government running, Congress must pass 12 appropriation bills to fund key departments. As of now, they have passed none. Without a stopgap deal called a continuing resolution or CR, non-essential functions of the US federal government will shut down at midnight on October 1st. The White House's budget office has already instructed departments to prepare reduction in force plans, a bureaucratic phrase for mass firings. At the heart of the crisis is a bitter political face-off between President Donald Trump and Democratic congressional leaders. Democrats want any temporary funding bill to include a permanent extension of healthcare tax credits under the Affordable Care Act, which currently subsidizes insurance premiums for over 24 million Americans. Republicans are open to discussing healthcare, but only after the government is funded. Trump's line is simple: no compromise. Earlier this week, he cancelled talks with Democratic leaders, accused them of radical demands, and now blames them for bringing the US to the brink. Vice President J.D. Vance even called the ACA proposals a gun to the American people's head.
We just had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function.
On health care,
Democrats hit back, calling Trump's threats of mass firings a political bluff.
there was a frank and direct discussion with the President of the United States and Republican leaders, but significant and meaningful differences remain. Democrats are fighting to protect the health care of the American people, and we are not going to support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans. Period. Full stop.
What happens if the shutdown begins? First, the basics. Every federal agency must separate employees into two categories: essential and non-essential. Essential workers like air traffic controllers, border patrol, federal law enforcement, and TSA agents continue working, but without pay. Non-essential employees like educators, park staff, research agencies get temporary unpaid leave. But this time, the Trump administration says some non-essential employees could be permanently laid off. Airports stay open, but TSA and traffic control staffing shortages could lead to chaos. In 2019, 10 unpaid air traffic controllers calling in sick shut down LaGuardia Airport. National parks may close completely or stay open without basic services. In 2013, 8 million visits were lost in 16 days, costing local economies $400 million. Food safety inspections by the FDA will stop unless it's an emergency. Federal courts will run out of funds very quickly. IRS and Social Security will continue, but delays in enrollments and claims are expected. Student aid may pause, but Pell Grants and loans will be issued. Past shutdowns have shown us when Washington stops, wallets shrink. The 2018-2019 shutdown cost the US economy $3 billion permanently. Tourism and travel sectors lose nearly $1 billion per week. Government workers cut personal spending, further slowing down consumption. And this time there's an added twist. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will halt key data releases like the jobs and inflation reports. Without those, the Federal Reserve flies blind, unable to gauge whether to raise, cut, or hold interest rates. That could spook markets and blur economic forecasting. In Washington, blame is political currency. Republicans say they passed a clean funding extension until the 21st of November. Democrats say it's anything but clean and want ACA subsidies and Medicaid cuts reversed before they sign off. Trump's allies believe Democrats are trying to legislate policy through a funding crisis. Democrats believe that Trump is using the shutdown to consolidate executive power and reduce the federal workforce. And the White House isn't hiding it. Director of the United States' Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vought, has circulated internal memos suggesting shutdowns are a tool to permanently dismantle departments that are non-essential. Shutdowns are not new. The US has had 14 of them since 1981. But this one is different because the Trump administration is threatening to fire and because healthcare for millions is being negotiated at the edge of a fiscal cliff.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.